License plates are no longer just numbers and letters for identifying a car in traffic. They have become a real means of self-expression for drivers. It's as if an attempt to make those around them smile or showcase their special status. We will share how plates are issued in various countries around the world, which ones are considered prestigious and strike fear on the roads, and which ones simply provoke wild laughter. In the end, we will present the most expensive license plates that currently command astronomical prices, over $24 million. Funny plates. It is extremely interesting to explore the history of license plates around the world, starting with the first plate that appeared in Berlin in 1901. The story of Rudolf the Duke comes to mind, who gifted his beloved the IA1 plate, creating a romantic symbol. IA represented his wife's initials, Joanna Anker, and the numbers signified that she was the one and only for him. It's noteworthy that even in our time, people continue to invest special meaning in license plates, just as it happened in the UK with plates that formed the phrase "to be" and "not to be," a reference to Shakespeare's play. Funny and unique plates also find their place in car culture, like the Australian resident who simplified his life by choosing the OK plate. He even created a recognizable image for himself by adding another car with the OK plate. An Australian driver with the Why Mary plate poses the question, why get married? Which brings smiles and prompts contemplation about the meaning of marriage. Meanwhile, American police officers with plates like "to jail" can either be making jokes or issuing a serious warning about their intentions to send people to jail. This category also encompasses countless cases where drivers, taking advantage of the opportunity to arrange characters on their license plates, create indecent words or messages. For example, "I hate people" from a guy in Maine who simply doesn't like people. Minimalism enthusiasts can find inspiration in the story of a Libyan developer who acquired the ID plate for an impressive sum, $600,000. Russian businessman Roman Abramovich also obtained a flashy VIP1 plate originally intended for the Pope. Apparently, this created a bit of a buzz at the auction, but believe me, it's still pocket change compared to the prices we'll show you next. The most expensive plates in the UAE. The Emirates are renowned worldwide for their wealth, so it's no surprise that out of the 20 most expensive license plates in the world, 13 belong to this country. Therefore, the next plate is the most expensive one in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the UAE. When its owner was asked why he paid $9.5 million at an auction in 2008 for the plate with number 1, Saeed Abdal Ghaffar Khoury replied, "I bought it because it's the best plate." In Abu Dhabi, it's customary to flaunt one's wealth as a display of power and status, so the plates must be fitting for the owner's personality in the car. Another impressive sum was paid for a car plate from Dubai. An anonymous buyer paid 55 million dirhams or $15 million for the most expensive car plate in Dubai, P7. Emirates Auction LLC sold this plate in April 2023 at a charity auction, and the owner's name remains unknown, with rumors suggesting it might belong to one of the sheikhs. The entire sum was spent on the needs of starving countries. But believe me, the ability to afford such luxury plates isn't limited to the UAE. The situation is even more remarkable in other countries, not to mention the most expensive plate, which we've intentionally saved for last. The most expensive plates in the world. The most valuable car plate in Australia belongs to Chinese billionaire Peter Cheng, the largest manufacturer of adult products. He acquired a plate with number 4 at an auction for $2 million in 2017, despite the number being considered unlucky. According to Chinese tradition, it's associated with misfortune because in both Mandarin and Cantonese dialects it sounds very similar to the word death. However, a person who deals in rubber products is unlikely to be too superstitious. Next, you'll notice that short plates are usually the ones fetching astronomical sums. For example, in Hong Kong in 2016, the number 28 was sold for $2.2 million, as besides being concise, it had an additional bonus. It sounds like the Cantonese phrase "easy money." In Hong Kong, the practice of reselling plates has been popular since 1973, so price tags in the hundreds of thousands of dollars are quite normal if the plate is appealing. And then there's the plate that speaks for itself. The most expensive plate in New York is named New York. In this state, personalized plates are issued by a waiting list, and back in the late 1970s, the attractive letters fell into the hands of an ordinary family. The current value of the plate is over $20 million. But sometimes luxury is not defined by the numbers or letters on the plate, but by the mere existence of the plate. After all, due to high population density, some countries are forced to restrict the number of vehicles on public roads. License plates in China. Every year, it becomes increasingly challenging to obtain license plates in major Chinese cities. The process has become lengthy and restricted. There are several ways to obtain one. A lottery is one method, but the waiting period can stretch for several years, and you simply hope for luck to have the opportunity to drive a car. Alternatively, you can buy one at an auction, but the prices for regular civilian plates in major cities start at $20,000 to $30,000, and the cost increases each year. For electric cars and hybrids, there are green plates available, which can be obtained for free, but only for now. You can also get plates in neighboring cities with less stringent requirements, but that comes with significant restrictions on how much time you can spend in major cities. Furthermore, if you're a foreigner who has recently arrived in China and even legalized your status, you won't be allowed to purchase a license plate even if you're willing to pay a substantial sum. You must reside in the city for at least 2 years before applying. In Beijing, this has led to emergence of dubious services like marriage for a plate, which involves a sham marriage with a Beijing resident for the purpose of obtaining a local license. A similar situation arises in Japan, where an unusual system dictates the issuance of government plates depending not only on the type of vehicle, but also its intended use. License plates in Japan. The Japanese license plate system, introduced in 1907, started with manually applying numbers to vehicles because there was no printing equipment at the time. All license plates fall into specific color categories. In Japan, plates are registered with the Transport Bureau, which is under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Land and Roads. They are divided into various categories depending on the type and purpose of the vehicle, and these categories are strictly adhered to by all drivers. The exception is diplomatic missions, which use blue plates with white numbers, indicating that the vehicle belongs to an organization of another country. Black numbers on a yellow background are assigned to small personal and work vehicles, often used in agriculture. Yellow numbers on a black background are typically for small work vehicles with courier functions. Green numbers on a white background are the most common type of plates and are used for personal vehicles as well as work vehicles, such as those used to transport employees to their homes. White numbers on a green background denote work vehicles like buses, taxis, and trucks. This diverse license plate system in Japan not only reflects the type of vehicle but also its intended purpose, making it unique and interesting. Presidential plates. Although it's commonly believed that the attractive numbers are a privilege of high-ranking officials and the wealthy, the reality is quite different, as demonstrated by the heads of states themselves. For example, Vladimir Putin travels in an Aura Senate with the license plate B776 US77, which is quite ordinary for Russia, with no extravagant numbers or simplicity. Joe Biden has a similar situation with his 800-002 plate. Although the numbers aren't in consecutive order, there are no important designations like Mr. President. In the US, you are allowed to include entire words on your plate, but in this case, it's kept straightforward. Xi Jinping, on the other hand, travels without a license plate. Why would he need one when he's in a convoy and a parade? Everyone present already knows who's in the car. Similar situations occur with other leaders, either with national emblems on their vehicles or standard plates. Uruguay's president, for example, rides a bicycle without any discomfort arising from the absence of a fancy license plate. On the other hand, ordinary people like to get creative with their license plates, and we'll discuss that in the following section. Embarrassing plates. Even in countries where license plates are issued in a queue, there are some curious cases. For instance, some car owners in Russia make an effort to avoid plates that include the sequence SSU or SRU, as they find it strongly associated with the Defecation Act. On the contrary, some drivers attempt to add meaning to their plates, which sometimes turns out rather ludicrous. I hate taxis. A plate expressing dissatisfaction with taxis can also be interpreted as I hate taxis, potentially offending both the government and taxi drivers simultaneously. For no snow, a plate seemingly intended to express a dislike of snow can also sound like fornicate snow, creating an absurd impression on other drivers. Diarrhea could represent all the creative and offensive plates that owners seem to invent to attract attention. However, this plate is a prime example of how one can come across as very foolish while driving with such plates. Special mention should be made of the humor among citizens from the post-Soviet space who enjoy writing indecent things on American license plates with Russian profanity, as by state law, insults are only accounted for in English. Now let's talk about personalized plates that are popular in several countries. Specialty license plates in America. Regular American license plates consist of alphanumeric combinations, ranging from 2 to 7 characters, where numbers and letters can be arranged in any order. However, in recent years, standard license plates no longer surprise anyone. So let's delve into more sought-after and expensive categories. Vanity plates. Americans call them vanity plates. These are personalized character combinations where you can write practically anything, except for certain prohibited phrases or words. As a result, many people get creative by substituting letters with numbers, often crafting profanities and jokes. Some states offer special designs, images and frames for these plates, all for a fee, which contributes significantly to the budgets of individual states. Triple plates. These are plates where 3 or more digits or letters are identical. Although not as popular as vanity plates, they still pique interest and can be collected since the same combination cannot be used twice. Specialty or optional plates. These plates are often used to support non-profit organizations dealing with various issues such as environmental conservation, animal protection, and more. They may have attractive designs and draw attention, expressing the owner's views. Some gangs also used to prefer similar designs or repeating symbols on their plates, but this practice has declined as it made it easier for the police to identify them. However, in Russia, there's a whole culture of license plates that evoke awe and respect from the public. Specialty license plates in Russia. For example, in Russia, people are extremely cautious about license plates with the EKX series. Any doors open in front of these cars. This series, EKX-77, was designated for vehicles of the Federal Security Service of Russia, which is directly subordinate to the president. There are several versions of how this series was created and decoded. One popular theory is that the head of the Federal Security Service, Yuri Krapivin, appealed to then-President of Russia Boris Yeltsin to add a new series to the existing AAA series. Allegedly, they chose EKX as an abbreviation for Yeltsin plus Krapivin equals good. There are other interpretations as well, like Unified Kremlin Economy or Driving as I Want. The EKX-77 series became well known and attracted public interest due to its unconventional origin and interpretations. The same goes for AMR and MMM series. These plates belong to leaders of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, MVD, and their close associates before the appearance of blue plates. Now all these special series can be found on regular civilian vehicles, but the aura of respect and fear around them remains, as obtaining them through the regular process is nearly impossible. It's worth mentioning the series VOR, KHAM, and AUE. While the first two are self-explanatory, we can't even spell out the last series in its entirety, as it is legally punishable in Russia. This is more of a relic of the past now. But many car owners try to add importance to their vehicles by purchasing such plates for tens of thousands of dollars. The $24.3 million license plate. And as promised, the most expensive license plate in the world. California, USA takes the spotlight. This is not just the priciest license plate in California. The MM plate cost $24.3 million. Two-digit plates are the rarest in the US, and plates where both characters are identical are even rarer. In fact, there are only 35 such plates in the entire country, and no one is willing to part with them for free. What sets this plate apart is the NFT aspect, where the two letters each get their spot on the blockchain, making you the sole owner of the original. The matter is debatable, but based on preliminary estimates, the other plates would have cost no less than $20 million each. Label 12. Conclusion. License plates are a popular way for many car enthusiasts to express themselves. As a result, everyone tries to showcase themselves differently. Some spend millions on a single character, while others drive proudly with the word PNNIS on their cars. Thanks for watching.